Hello, Ron again. In this video, we're going to look at Stutter Edit 2. So what is Stutter Edit 2? Let's start off there. Stutter Edit 2 is a multi-effects plugin that specializes in changing audio over time using user-defined presets. So if you go here, see this is my bank. These are all the different presets that I've made so far of things I figured, hey, I might want something to do that for one measure or less. And then I saved them and gave them different names. So I can access those by playing MIDI notes on the keyboard, and Stutter Edit will do it. So there'll be different effects that are for each one, and it tells you what note it is right here. So I play C3, this one comes up, C#3, D3, and they're all different according to how I programmed them. If I didn't yet, they're inactive like that. For the sake of the name, what does it mean to stutter? Stuttering sort of makes audio glitchy in such this way that it kind of sounds like when you roll your R, like that. If you look at buffering, what it means to buffer is that the program is going to play some audio and it's going to make it go backward in time to an earlier part of the audio. So it's not going to be, obviously, it's not going to be before the first thing that's played. But let's say if you had a sentence speaking like the cat is in the tree, it might go back and it might repeat if that's what you set it to do. Like the, and it would just keep on doing that. And it would do it as fast as you set it to stutter. So looking at the rest of the effects, you got lo-fi, you got a flanger, high pass filter, comb filter, chorus effect, distortion, reverb, phaser, low pass, tape stop, and delay, which is like echoes. So why would you use Stutter Edit? You would use it if you want to make some sound or even the entire mix do something over time for one measure or for longer. So let's look at the grid. For example, the grid has a length of time that is either 1 bar or however long you set it to be. And you have some degree on the left side, which is the y-axis. And as you increase it, it's going to take whatever effect it is in a higher potency. And if you decrease it, it's going to have less of that effect happen, obviously all the way until 0. Or in this case, it would be eighth notes. When it reaches here at this point in time, it's going to turn the audio to 32nd notes. And towards the end of the bar, it's going to become 64th notes. And that's how fast it will stutter in this case. Each of these effects have their own independent graph, which you can activate or deactivate, and you can make them all do different things. So the possibilities are pretty astounding. You look up here. One of the cool things you have is palindrome. So palindrome means that if I start playing some audio and make Stutter Edit act upon it, it goes all the way to the end of the measure, then it comes back, and if I continue holding it, it keeps on doing that like that. So you can see where it's at in time. The release controls how Stutter Edit will behave when I let go of the note. The length is obviously whatever length it is. You look down here, you can quantize it because you can have it unquantized if you just wanted to have a random sort of stuttering and you don't want it to be controlled because you want it to be less predictable or you're trying to be creative. So let's think about some other things that Stutter Edit would be good for. You're like, well, if I got this, why would I use it, right? For one thing, if you want to make a sound evolve either subtly or dramatically over time, right? As I said, that's the point of it. You want to make a sound do something for some length of time that is 1 bar or greater. Because you got this MIDI mode, but that's not the only way to control it. You can have auto mode and say this effect that's happening, it would just do that constantly. And what's cool is it even shows you how to set it up in your own DAW. So I'm using FL Studio, so it will teach you how to set it up. And that's pretty awesome. Now, given that you have this auto mode, if you have some sound and you just want it to do the same thing, And you could just leave it like that and it would just do that for the entire song. So you could use it as a stagnant multi-effects plugin if that's what you felt like doing. So that's pretty awesome. Another use I thought of that would be cool is if you wanted to make a sound that is really cinematic. Because, you know, if you make sounds for horror movies or to convey horror or fear or something like that, then you're going to have something that just might sound crazy. You know, it might sound glitchy or distorted to represent something being distorted or glitchy that's happening to the character. There's creativity, as I said earlier. When you just want to unquantize this and have it do whatever, because you can't think of what you want it to do. You know, we've all had those times where you want to do something creative with a hi-hat, but all you can think of is 16th notes. And Stutter Edit can allow you to do something more creative, and you just use the 8th note pattern as a basis and sort of bounce ideas through it by trying out different things and changing them in the graphs. And you could make a predictable effects chain based on something that you know will happen that you might use often. So say, for example, if you wanted to make something sound farther away and you said, all right, reverb, low pass, and possibly volume, right? Maybe you automate the volume or the limiter, because there's a limiter down here and it also has the graphs. So you could just set the output gain lower or the threshold, however you choose to. You say, I know as the sound gets further away, the reverb increases, the low pass filter, so to speak, would clamp down and it will release less higher sounds because it is further away. By higher sounds, I mean you would hear less of the upper frequencies of the sound. So something that's closer will sound brighter to you. So you would low pass it, and the low pass would increase over time. The reverb would increase over time. And the volume would go down. And if you did that predictably, it would sound like it's getting further away. And you might use that a lot. And so you might use Stutter Edit to do that predictably, and you could have a bunch of different sounds, and then you don't have to put them on separate channels. You could just have one instance of Stutter Edit and have it do the same thing to all of them. And the last use that I can think of that comes to mind is electronic dance music, because I think that's what it was made for in the first place. You know, if you look here and you get it, it has a bunch of things by BT. He made all of these. And I'm not going to get into those because there's not audio examples in this video. But it's all glitchy, crazy, distorted things that you might hear in dance music. And so that's actually pretty cool that they had this plugin that they made that has a bunch of utility for like all of us. And I really enjoy using it because you can make a song stutter or do something strange right before the drop, and it makes the drop a lot harder. Especially one technique they use in dance music is they'll high pass something, and the high pass the frequency will go higher, so you'll hear less low over time. And then when you drop the kick again, the kick sounds that much harder, and then it really knocks and it's crazy. But yeah, so that goes over all I have for Stutter Edit 2. And if you watched this video, I hope you gained something from it. And thank you for watching, and as always, have an awesome day. Bye.